It's always a pleasure to come speak to you. Homegrown Walton County, and all, it's always nice to come tell everybody some good things about what's going on in Walton County. I did bring Jimmy Parker with PPI. He's going to talk a little bit about Hard Labor Creek when I get through, just before we leave to go on the tour. Did want to tell y'all we are now at 88,300 people according to the estimates that just came out for Walton County. We were at 83,700 in the 2000 census. So, and then if you drop back to 1990, we were at 36,000. So we've grown a lot of people in the last 20 years or so, and I guess we're going to continue to grow. But the biggest problem that we're dealing with right now is traffic. If you try to move in and around Monroe, it's and Walton County period is very, very hard. So I just got through writing a letter to the legislature and the DOT to try to get something done at 138 and 81, and so try to move the cars around, because when you got 88,000 people here, you at least figure half of them's got cars, so that's 40,000, probably 50,000, you know, plus the people that come through every day. We did get the extra lane out beside Walmart and in front of Chick-fil-A, and that's helped move that intersection along. But if you don't travel along that road, you really don't know. It's kind of like water, you know, when you open up something and let it go, and you get something else down the road. If you leave Monroe now and you go on 138 towards Conyers and you go out to the HDA, the red light is the next one now, and it backs up out there because we send in 2 flows of cars out through there. So what we've done is we've asked for DOT to try to help us get that road, because moving cars and moving people is very important. And the 81 corridor from Walnut Grove to Loganville is almost solid cars. If you get the opportunity to roll out through there, it's very, very bad. And so we asked them to look at that also. And I know traveling out of Monroe out here on Spring Street, it backs all the way up from the red light down to the red light that used to turn and go out to the hospital. What's that road? Breedlove, yeah, Breedlove. It's backed up there, and so it's just a matter of volumes of cars. But Walton County, we're doing really well. I was excited not have any opposition this last time, and so we could get focused on what was going on in the county. And we got a lot of good things going on. The Reservoir is still one of them, but transportation is the main thing. Shane Short, our new economic development, I call him new, he's been here 2 years now, but we got several projects that are working that's going to bring more jobs to the county. And Flexco has bought the old Angel Food building, and they've got about 50 employees out there now. They generate and make bags for like Kohl's and Macy's, and those plastic bags, they make those and ship those. It's a company out of Connecticut, and it's a family-owned company. And so they bought that with no abatements, and so they're full taxpayers. So that's exciting to have here. The thing that bothers me is growing up. Several of you taught me coming through school as we all did and grew up. We all grew up, and you want to work, and you want to find a job, and you want to be in production. Somewhere along the line, we or somebody changed people's minds that you don't have to work and you just do what you want to. It's a shame that we got Walmart distribution, you got Hitachi, you got Tucker Door, and you got Flexco right out here in Walton County, Monroe, Georgia, and they're all begging people to work. People won't work. And that's what drives me crazy is you turn on the TV and it says unemployment rate is blank, blank, blank. Walmart distribution pays, it starts you off in the $15, $14 range, but in no time, if you'll work for them and you'll show up, you're making $20 an hour. I mean, it just drives me crazy. And if some of you see me on TV, about every other month, I blast the people out there, because I still see people that I went to school with that's laying on the street and won't get a job. And it just makes me mad, because why do I have to go to work every day and pay them to draw what they're drawing, and they got a free cell phone, you know? And so it just, but I graduated from Monroe in 1984, and the thing is everybody tried to get away from Monroe as fast as you could, because there wasn't nowhere to work. And so when I got elected in 2000, one of my goals was that I wanted you to be able to work and live and play here. And so you got that opportunity and they won't even take advantage of it. That's what bothers me a lot, is because we've sold this stuff to corporations and companies to come here, and we're gonna go down. It was Baxter when it started, the pharmaceutical, and now Shire has bought it. And so, but those are $60,000 a year jobs, and they make, you know, some people making $100,000 range there, and it's just hard. The workforce is not there, and that's a problem. But you know, we're doing well economically in Walton County, and we're the Monroe bypass is always an important. It's on schedule for 2020. Is what that it's the right of way will be bought in 2018, 2019. It's supposed to be started in somewhere around 2020. So that's how, when federal money's involved and such like that, it's a long range thing, but we finally got it programmed. And it could get changed. I don't know. You know, you just don't never know when that happens, depending on the next transportation bill or whatever, but it's appropriated to go then. And so that will give a lot of relief from downtown Monroe here, you know, what's happening. But we trying to think if there's anything else that's going on.
Kevin?
Yes, sir.
How about the roundabout on 81?
The roundabout on 81 is it's under construction and should be done by probably end of the year, first of the year, I think. Because roundabouts is really big, and that's something that now it helps move traffic a whole lot easier. I know roundabouts is kind of new to America, but they've kind of been using them overseas for a lot of years. And I come from traffic engineering, so I hate a four-way stop. And if I can continue to go, I'm a fan of it. And believe it or not, that roundabout got funded in '09, I believe it was. Got done in '09, and they're just now doing construction. That's just how slow federal money and federal process is. And so, but the Monroe bypass will have a roundabout at just below Meadows Funeral Home before you get to the old Willingham store. If y'all know where that is, it's a seed company, a seed place now. But there'll be a roundabout there, and they're still undetermined. It won't be a roundabout out here on 83 and 78, but that'll be a red light there. But roundabouts keeps people going, because if there's 10 cars in a line and all you do is pull up and stop, it takes those seconds and it backs it all the way up. DOT has really got, it started out over in Jackson County on Highway 11 between Winder and Jefferson. There's a high school, Jackson County High School over there. Traffic would back up for 2 miles. Well, they come in on Highway 11 and they put a roundabout in it, and it pretty much done away with it, because everybody can continue to go and continue to travel. And it gives you the opportunity. You get scared of them when you first start about it, but it's not. When Gary Hobbs and they built Walnut Grove High School out here, it was a 5-leg intersection, and there was no way we couldn't do away with any of the legs. So I said, well, let's put a roundabout in there. And so Walnut Grove High School has had a roundabout in front of it since it's been there, and the road on the other side of Walnut Grove has had a roundabout in it as well. So and then we got a roundabout out in front of the government building out here off of Hammond. The mayor of Athens, Clark, always bragged anytime she went of how good we were in Walton County, because she was Athens, Clark, and at that time they had 0 roundabouts and we had 3 in Walton County. And so, but it's good. We try to be visionary, try to keep people moving, try to keep things going. But you know, we're excited about Hard Labor Creek. I always told people all along that it takes 2 things to survive, and water and air. And I said, I can't provide you with your air, but I can provide you with water. So what we've done is Hard Labor Creek is good Lord sent us a lot of water. We closed the gates in September last year, and y'all know we had a very wet winter, and we had a bunch of rain, and so this thing started showing pretty good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Jimmy Parker up. He's a homegrown Walton Countyan, and he works with Precision Planning. And I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about the progress and what's going on with the reservoir. And then if y'all have any questions, we'll both answer them.
Thank you, Kevin. Again, my name is Jimmy Parker. I'm with Precision Planning here in Monroe. We've had the privilege to assist Walton and Oconee County in development of the Hard Labor Creek Reservoir project. I've got a few slides I'd like to show you up on the screen. I believe 2 years ago we were here, and we're still in the process of building the dam and pushing dirt. And I've been sitting here talking to Mr. Sales and his wife. They saw all that firsthand. But here's a picture of the upper end of the reservoir on Chicks Bridge Road, or where Chicks Bridge Road used to be. It is now underwater and closed on either side. Here's another photo going down the lake from Chicks Bridge Road, heading south toward the dam. Here's a picture of Sandy Ford Road. I believe this is your house right here.
It probably is.
Right there. So this is a good picture from looking out over the Connor property and the Sales property back toward what we call Bridge 2, which is the 700-foot long bridge at the reservoir. Another photo, I will say this summer, another benefit of the project, the project had a lot of wear and tear on the local roads. So the county went in and patched and repaved all the roads, major roads in the area. So all those roads are in great condition down there now. Here's a picture of the dam. It is essentially complete. We're still working with the contractor on grassing a few little bare areas. What you see, this is pretty much the earthen dam. This is the chute spillway. So at the time the reservoir is full, water will spill over this labyrinth weir, run down the spillway and back into Hard Labor Creek. Right now we're releasing water through the principal spillway to keep base stream flow stabilized. Here's another picture of the dam and labyrinth weir. What you see over here, this nice grassed area, looks like a football field, is actually the auxiliary spillway. And that should we have a significant flood event that the labyrinth weir couldn't handle, water would flow over the auxiliary spillway and back down to the creek. Just to give you some information, this dam is designed to withstand a rainfall event of 30 inches over a 6-hour period. And that is the largest recorded rainfall event in U.S. history. It happened in North Carolina. They had a hurricane stall out. And so that has become the standard in the United States for dam safety. Here's another picture of the dam, and there's actually a 32-acre island in the middle of the reservoir. It'll be maintained. It's owned by the county. Possibly at some point in the future it could be utilized for some recreational use. Here's a photo on the other side. This is the side that heads back towards Social Circle, Means Creek, and Reedy Creek. Here's a picture of the reservoir intake structure. This structure is actually about 70 feet tall. Now you can only see the top part of it now that the water's filled up, but this is the actual structure where water will be pulled out of the reservoir and pumped to the water treatment facility, treated and then pumped to your home for use. Here's another one of the bridges on the upper side of the reservoir, Social Circle Fairplay Road. And excuse me, here is the boat ramp. This facility is located just off Social Circle Fairplay Road, near the big bridge. We had to get the boat ramp in this past year, and design is underway now for the parking area. There'll be a restroom facility. There'll be a dock that you could take your kids or grandkids there to fish, and it'll all be on the honor system. It'll be sort of a daily usage pass like the state parks utilize. Here's another picture looking back toward the Connor property. Again, back upstream. And then, as Kevin mentioned, we were blessed with a lot of rainfall last winter. You can see these spikes, but we hadn't had a whole lot since February of this year. We've been in drought conditions, and I looked this morning, there didn't appear to be any rain in the forecast for the next 2 weeks, but Anyway, so we're in a moderate drought. The reservoir has dropped about a foot over the past 60 days. But one good rain would replenish that, and we'll just keep praying that that'll happen. As much water as you see in the reservoir, when you ride out there and look at it, you'll think, well, this thing is almost full, but it's actually less than half full. That top 20 feet is a lot of water, especially in the upper reaches of the reservoir. So, a lot of people have called and said, when are you going to open the reservoir? Well, we need it to fill up first, so we need some rain to make that happen. I thought I had some recreation slides here. Anyway, we talked about recreation. Evidently those got omitted, but the county's looking at putting in some walking trails out at that site that would sort of meander along the lake, and some other facilities. Boating will be allowed. Presently it'll be electric motors only. That is a Georgia EPD regulation. And of course plenty of fishing opportunities. Georgia DNR has stocked the reservoir at no cost to either Walton or Oconee County, and so far they've put 1.4 million fish in the reservoir, and they continue to add fish each, I think they're right now every other month they're doing additional stocking. So with that, Chairman Little, I'll turn it back over to you.
Anybody got any questions on the reservoir or anything that we talked about here today?
Will there ever be any lots for cabins or houses?
No, ma'am, unless the property is already there. It's a 150-foot undisturbed buffer all the way around because it's a drinking reservoir. Won't be any docks off of the property or anything that are adjacent to the reservoir because of the EPD regulations that's there. It's not like your Sinclairs, your Lake Oconees or that. Those things don't happen anymore like that. And so I'll show y'all the ones that's going. It does look like that one of the property owners that owns some land, they did clean it off all the way down into the water, and it does look like that they may be set up to where they could sell some subdivision houses kind of overlooking the lake there, but you really wouldn't have access to it. But I'll try to show. That's on Social Circle Fairplay going towards Social Circle just as you cross the little bridge to the left. But that's it's just really big. The thing that, Monroe has always had John Briscoe Reservoir up here, and it's good to have. And Walton County as a whole, as we've grown through the years, we never had our own water source. We bought from the city of Monroe. When Benny Ray Anderson was chairman, I believe it was, we got into the Roy Varner Carnage Creek Reservoir down in Newton County as a 25% purchaser. So that was very important to have our water source. But something that always worried me is we couldn't control people from coming here, but if we didn't have our own water source, then we would have to pay whatever anybody wanted to charge. Kind of like what we do with the gas prices. If they have a pinhole in a gas line, it'll go up 30 cents, and we got to pay it, and then it takes it forever to go back down. And so if we didn't have any water, and we have drought conditions like we are now, they may charge no telling what, and then we would have to pay it. So that's been very important on getting water here. I did want to tell you that Walton County, I was going to talk a little bit on finances. We went back to New York early part of this year and were rebonded. We're AA minus on Standard & Poor's and a A2 on Moody's, and so we are very, very financial stable in Walton County. And a lot of counties touching us are in dire straits. They're in some pretty bad shape. But I credit that. We got a lot of good department heads, got a lot of good constitutional officers in the county, and they spend your money wisely. Also, I did grow up on a farm, and when you grow up on a farm, you do everything, and it ain't no assistant to an assistant and all that. All my department heads still work, and they don't have jobs where they just sit in behind a desk all day long. So. That's one thing that we've stayed lean and mean. We didn't have to have a lot of layoffs in the turn down, and so we've been fortunate. We were able to roll back the millage rate every year over the last 5 I think is what it was. And then this last year, we kept the millage rate the same because property values have started to climb again in Walton County. And so, and that's probably gonna be a trend for a while. They won't grow like they did in the '05, '04, '06 range, but if you got property, it's gonna gradually increase again. And most people kind of want that. They kind of want your property to go up. And so, if anybody got any questions for me, yes, ma'am.
What's going on in up Highway 11 North, commercial wise? Anything gonna ever come up that way besides a million cars that come down that road every day?
Well, I don't. Highway 11 is, they're building the Bojangles up there now, and I'm not as privy to know what's going on in the city of Monroe as I am. But as far as in the county right now, there is not anything toward the Highway 11 316 area up through there.
Kevin, what is, other than the obvious having water when you need it, because I live in Oconee County and we're a minority.
That's part of
I
it.
think 10% or
28.
28% of this. But what are some other financial boons to having the reservoir other than just having the water itself?
Well, it's economic development because there's a lot of things that we can't let the public know. But there was a 10 million a gallon day user that was looking in the industrial park down because we had an unlimited amount of water, and it would be bringing a lot of jobs to our area. That was in the Walton Newton area there. And also there is a car manufacturer, high-end car manufacturer, that is still looking, they're overseas, and they're looking to move somewhere between Atlanta and Savannah. And they're still looking there. They are a high-end water user, and so that's a big advantage to have, is to have excess water to be able to do. That's good, and it's just nice to have that abundance here. But economically, that's going to really help drive Walton County. If you travel I-85, I-85 is building out and building up, and right now the I-20 corridor is the next frontier through Newton, Walton, Morgan, and on down toward Augusta is what that'll be the next real frontier. Lake Oconee and Greene County down there is really been an attractive, because if a company, a corporation comes, a lot of their execs want to live in Lake Oconee, and a lot of them do, and it's very attractive to it. So that's going to build a Joint Development Authority park, and it's going to help us economically here.
Is the reservoir paid for, or is there money owing, or what's the status?
There's money owing on it. What we did is it's a 40-year payback governor deal. When he wanted to pool water, we took a low interest loan, basically free, 1%.
1%.
Yeah, 1%, 40-year note, and what we've already set in process to where it will be paid back. Because I'm 50. I don't know that I'll be here 38 years from now when we done it 2 years ago. But I didn't want nobody, whoever they am, to say, "Surprise! You owe $40 million plus interest." So what we've got is we've got it in play to where it will be paid back over those next few years. And right now we're in the process. We've done a 30% design on the water treatment facility. Jimmy talked about it. I'm going to show y'all that water intake then, and I'll show you what a treatment facility. But the water treatment facility is going to cost somewhere around $50 to $60 million. So right now, I'm not ready to pull the plug and start that, because $50 million is a lot of money. But as I was saying from Mr. Royce there, if that high dollar or high water user comes and we've already got the plant and everything designed 30%, we can ramp up, and by the time they get their company and corporation built, we can have that water plant ready to go. But as I told you earlier, the growth of the county is going to have us to start on it probably in the next 5 years or so, 4 to 5. It's hard to say, it just depends on how the growth, because we're doing pretty well water-wise right now, and we're still looking at another 12 months or so, depending on what the good Lord sends us on getting the reservoir full, and so that's important. And we're working on the pump diversion from the Appalachian River, where we'll have that ready when we start to pull water out. Any other questions? All right, well, I guess we're gonna load the bus. I'll turn it back over to Royce and let him direct y'all on all that. Thank y'all for having us today.
46% full, and from the top of this bridge, well, underneath this bridge to the dirt was 120 feet, and it's going to only be about 10 feet under the bridge right here when it's completely full. So pretty much you can see that the tree line all out through there is where the water will be. And but the boat ramp, we had to actually cut it 10 foot shorter than it was supposed to be, because last year the good Lord was sending us all that water and we couldn't get it built quick enough because it was filling up so fast. But as you see over yonder to the far right, and you see that concrete structure over there, that is the dam. We'll go over there and pull down on the other side of it where we'll be below the dam. You'll be able to see that in just a little bit. It's yeah, it's pretty interesting that it's probably only about half employed now. It's got a full-fledged, in that artery to the right there, it's a full-fledged restaurants, like if you're in the airport. They got a barbecue restaurant, they got a country-style restaurant, got fast food hamburgers or whatever. I guess their plan is when, you got 1,600 people here, they don't want you to be, or they're not going to let you leave. So you have all that full service all right in there. And they're still under construction, but they do have those 800 people in the process of putting everything together there.
How many people will be employed here? I may miss that.
It'll be 1,600 total. They're about 800 now is where they're at. And $1,100 million is what the facility costs.
Changed names once, and twice. Shy.
They're on a 10-year abatement from the time that they start making the product. It'll go 10% tax all the way up to 100%. So in 2018, we will start drawing some property tax money off of it. Jasper County alone, in their 10% take, their first year, they will bring in more money than their whole tax structure is down there.